is multiculturalism. This is what Tucker Carlson had to say about it. This was a debate on our show a few weeks back. Is America a melting pot?
Can imagine a multiracial society. I certainly want to. I don't understand what a multicultural society is. How can you have a multicultural society? Because society is culture. So like, how can many exist in one society?
Well, and this is, I think, a real problem with our really modern and vulgar use of race. Race is a macro category. Ethnos is a more organic micro category, right? And so when we think about different ethnicities in Europe, there are many, right? The difference between an Italian and a Swede is rather large. However, there's this
vast,
right? It's huge,
vast,
right? But there's this macro core, category of white or European, and that means something, but it really only means things in a highly racialized society. So it used to be that in America we had Black Americans, and they had a specific ethnic identity because they had basically been shorn of their previous ethnic identity. They didn't have a connection to their tribe, to their peoples, to their history. And so they had an ethnogenesis. They formed an ethnos in the United States. But the white population, the European descendants, were ones that had different European ethnos backgrounds. They had Germanic backgrounds. They had English backgrounds. Irish, all these, right? And so those different identities were distinct, and we even had different neighborhoods, entire states that were settled by very different peoples, even though they're of European descent. But as we have racialized, as we have become only interested in those macro categories, all of those separate white ethnoses that once existed have been pulled into
or separate
singular
black
identity.
For that matter.
Right? Yeah, the ones that existed previously.
Yeah, Washington D.C. is I think the largest population of Ethiopians and Eritreans who are black. Ask them what they think of local black people.
Right.
I don't know that they've anything in common. They don't seem to. Right. So, but why would you want to erase all of those very real differences? Like why pretend that Swedes are the same as Sicilians?
Because eventually each one of those particular cultures creates a high level of resistance to both standardization and scale of managerial power, but most importantly, to government power. Because peoples with particular traditions and identities aren't going to just go along with whatever the government says. They have real, organic, deeply seated understandings of who they are. We can just look at COVID, right? Who are all the people that actually resisted during COVID?
Orthodox Jews, the Amish.
The religious, people with high degrees of individual transcendent identities, right?
Yeah.
This is my group, my practice of my religion, the people I go to church with, the people in my community, they are more important than whatever the state believes. Samuel Huntington is a guy who I really like. He wrote the Clash of Civilizations and Who Are We? And I think won his debate with Francis Fukuyama pretty decisively. But he said in Who Are We, his book about American identity, the core of American identity is the Anglo-Protestant spirit. And he's a man of the center left, as a Harvard professor. This is a guy who's not, he's not, you can only be an Anglo or a Protestant to be part of America. But he says even the Catholics and Jews in America take on this Anglo-Protestant affect in some way. And so you have to have this majority culture for people to assimilate to. And so when we're talking about a heritage American, we're either talking about someone who is tied specifically to that tradition, or someone who has come here and has been here for generations, but understands that they are conforming to that way of being, that's the...
Gray, you came from a family of sharecroppers. You can trace your family's DNA back to the slave trade from what you told me. Am I wrong? When you did your ancestry, what do you think about everything you just heard? I know you tell me the reason why you'll never be a Republican or a conservative is talking points like this. I'm sure it represents it. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, basically, but what that guy was saying in that video, he was saying that white people come to America and they blend into just being white, and that blacks, this is more of a pan-African type conversation, that blacks all came from these separate different tribes, separate different languages, but from West Africa came a part of the Atlantic slave trade, so they just all created their own culture as African American. So that's a little bit different than I would say, like, as far as my personal beliefs with the Republican Party. My personal beliefs with the Republican Party is, yes, they obviously have a courtesy for whites. And so Democrats seem to have more a liking to minorities. Not that I'm racist or that I feel like I'm just for black people. It's just that for me, that racially, it may seem like they may be harmful to African Americans.
Well, I mean, I'm going to play. Somebody mentioned Nick Fuentes. This is another thing. Christian nationalism. This is what he had to say.
America first. It's America first until we die. It's Jesus Christ first until we die. Never forget what side we're on. We're on the side of European civilization, European white civilization. The Romans, the Greeks, the Spanish Empire, the British Empire, the German Empire, the Renaissance. We are on the side of European civilization. We are on the side of Jesus Christ and his church. The Jews put him on the cross. Never forget that. And we're on the side of the United States of America. That's what side we're on. I'm not a conservative. I'm not one of these, I'm not in favor of Western kind and Western this and that. I'm not part of a U.S.-Israel alliance, Judeo-Christianity, nationalism for all nations, like they say. It's not even about the right and the left. Fuck the right and the left. It's not about right and left. It's about, are you with our civilization? Are you with Jesus? Are you with America? Those are the questions that matter. Israel's against all of them. Israel's against America. Israel is against the church. They're against Christ. They're against our civilization. They always have been.
So my point in playing that was about the Christian nationalism. Kamal, what did you think about what you heard? Is America a Christian country? Because that seems to be something that a lot of people on the right say. They say this is a Christian country. You better fall in line. This is what it is. What do you think?
I mean, it is a Christian country, but they did use that religion against us Black Americans. That's for damn sure. I'll put it like this. If y'all close your eyes, imagine that nigga Nick Fuentes with a black face. Who do y'all hear in y'all head? Don't say it. Don't say it.
Does
Just
it
imagine.
start with A?
Huh?
Does it start with A?
It starts with
Okay.
an A. Starts with an A.
Yeah, just when you hear Nick Fuentes next time, just close your eyes. Imagine him in blackface, which Erica Kirk said if she would have done blackface, niggas would have been out of control because of Drewski shit. But just imagine the shit. You feel me? And yes, America is a Christian country. You feel me? Let's not act stupid now. All right? It is a Christian country. Now, is the Christians doing the right goddamn thing? Now, that's a whole different conversation. But I'm going to stop it at that.
Oh, man, you said a whole lot. But the other thing is the stop the steal, chaos in the streets, January 6th. That was like a big thing. Let's watch.
Been organizing protests inside Capitol buildings in other states. It was apparent that he was planning to do a siege on the U.S. Capitol on January 6th. Revolution! Revolution! Using other state capitals for practice dry runs.
The Capitol with us in a couple of minutes.
We're all actors, but I want to direct and act.
He says he's a Trump supporter, right?
Trump, would you shut up? Would you shut up? Rhetorically, Trump was retarded. Trump was just annoying.
Well, that's exactly how you would do it. Think about it.
Stop the Steal is not just a political movement. It's not even a Trump movement. It's not a Trump movement.
You become the face of your enemy so that when the media demonizes you, they're actually demonizing your enemy.
I'm done with this president. I'm going to go public supporting impeachment. I have no choice. He has to go. He has to go. Run again. You'll get your fucking brains beat in.
No, I think it's really bad for the movement. This hurts. It doesn't help. I'm not sure what they thought they were going to achieve.
Roger as well, and he suggested you may run for president.
No, don't worry about that. One day at a time.
One day at a time.
Love you, man.
Thank you, General.
Where you don't want to go into politics
would you consider the vice presidential nod?
Hey, Stu, let's get one thing straight here with Trump. Trump's got to make a decision about what does he believe he must do.
Kind of try to get in their mind. You have to understand how they eat, how they walk, how they talk, what they like, what pushes their buttons, what drives them nuts, what upsets them, what makes them happy. And then you use that to your advantage to push whatever ideology or product or direction you want them to go. So if I want to blackmail you and put you under my thumb, not only will I know everything, but I will know your deepest, darkest fears. I will know people I can get in contact to find out more about you. Maybe you had like an old hockey injury. So if I wanted to attack you, I'd know where to hit you.
I believe Donald Trump knows everything. Michael Flynn was tied to NSO between Obama and when he came into the Trump administration. NSO produced Pegasus, a surveillance software for phones. I noted that the quote-unquote Biden person, whoever it is, imposed a restriction on any American business doing business with NSO. I think Donald Trump knows.
You understand enough about someone and you can hack their shadow, right? You can use their fears, you can use their anxieties.
So the answer is yes. I could be wrong. I pray that I'm right. But I think that's why people don't understand some of the things that President Trump does. They look at it and go, why would he endorse that person? Trust him that he has a reason. If I'm right, and I believe I am, that he's 20 steps ahead of everybody, he knows where he's going. He has not left. Why did Michael Flynn say Trump gave up on us? No, he did not. He's still fighting. Why did Mike Flynn and Sidney Powell and Patrick Byrne try to get President Trump in December to sign martial law publicly? Because if they had done that, and if he had done that, the country would have gone into a civil war. Because even half of the people that voted for Trump had been brainwashed to believe that he lost and that he was going to try to coup the country with the military. They tried to set him up. He didn't bite. So
I played the clip to prove a point that how easily influenced, and Mia talked about this at the beginning, how easily influenced people are. How easily influenced. Trump didn't tell these people to go kick down the door and smear poo-poo and feces everywhere. They did that on their own. And I will say I do feel bad for some of these people because some of them just walked into the building and got arrested. A lot of them, a good chunk of them didn't kick down the door. They walked in, they thought they were allowed to be in there when you listen to their stories and their versions. And also there were CIA mixed into the crowd. There were undercover agents mixed in. So that's why I have empathy for these people. But the fact of the matter is this rhetoric, they stole the election, and I don't have an opinion one way or the other. I'm just presenting the facts. Mia, what's your thoughts on everything you heard? What do you think? Do you think that this far-right populism is destroying America, or did it need to happen?
I think it's all propaganda. I think far right and far left doesn't actually exist. This is all a psyop from the CIA. Everything that's happening is exactly what the government wants. We have all been brainwashed. Our parents were brainwashed. I mean, I sent you guys that very in-depth, interesting video of literally 80 years of CIA ops and operations that they've been running, not only internationally, but in this country. And this is declassified information. So, if we were in the Matrix, all right, this shit does not exist. It's a construct of what the CIA and what the government wants us to be like. They want us to fight each other because if we're fighting each other, we're not fighting them. If we are fat and low vibrational, we're not fighting them. If we're sick, we're not fighting them. If our kids are acting a fool, now they have another generation that's not fighting them because they're too busy fighting each other. It all circles back to this is how they wanted it to go. And to be honest, people don't think about it, but we've been in like a silent war. It has literally been the government versus us for decades upon decades upon decades. This is exactly what they want to happen. I feel bad for a lot of people that are so involved with these movements that they can't see that they're being used by these government entities, and they are perpetuating this propaganda, and they can't see it. That I do feel bad for, because there's a lot of good people who just didn't have the mental capacity to not be used.
No, you're right. And the last rise of the factor of the right that we're seeing is Islamophobia. Like, and the biggest psyop, I'm about to play him. I'm going to play it and we'll talk about it.
Muslim scam artists out of New York City. You're a bunch of scammer, invader, illegals. Get the fuck out of New York. The fuck out of New York. Get out of New York, you scam artists. DHS and ICE is coming for you motherfuckers. Don't buy their goods. Un-American, un-American. Get the fuck out of New York. Honestly, if I catch a Muslim that's coming at me and blow his head off outside my home and I get it on video, it'll be the most viral video of all time. Jake Lang blows the head off of a Muslim trying to jihad him. Watched it in slow motion 4K from a Ring doorbell. Pretty cool. So, you know, I mean, hey.
Don't threaten you with a good time.
Don't threaten you with a good time, yeah. You know, if I get the opportunity.
Did you see who was with him?
Andre.
We need to back it up, run the tape. Because Andre, see, this is the thing. I ain't going to name no names. But somebody felt that I love Andre, and Andre's my buddy. Andre, run it back. Run the tape back. We got to run the tape back. I love Andre as a friend. I love all of y'all equally. But Andre, you said this wasn't your homie. This was pretty recent, I think, right? Was this Minnesota where he said this at? I'm going to need somebody to do some research. Mia, you need to do some research. Where was this clip at? We need to research.
Okay, from a Ring doorbell. Pretty cool. So, you know, I mean, hey.
Don't threaten you with a good time.
Don't threaten you with a good time, yeah.
Hey, that's Andre. I know him.
If I get the opportunity
to
slay one of these
I think it was
disgusting animals
Detroit, because remember, that looked like the same outfit that Andre had on when he got thrown around in Detroit.
Good. Well, then he's telling the truth, because he claims he ain't talked to homeboy since Detroit. So if this was more recent than Detroit, we have a problem, Andre, because you said you ain't hanging out with homeboy. You said that he was, and so the reason why I say that this is the biggest psyop, he is an operative. This guy, Jake Lang, he is, you know, and I'm bringing up his race because of the things he says. He says he's a Christian. He says he's for anti-Muslims because he's a Christian, but come to find out he's really Jewish, which again, I don't have a problem that he's really Jewish. My problem is he says he's a Christian. So like, I don't know, like, which is it? And he goes in and his whole focus is Islamophobia, attacking Muslims. Kimberly, what do you think of this rise of hate against Muslims on the right? Is it real? Is it fake? What do you think?
I think like what Mia said, it has some truth to it. It's definitely a side, but it's being forced on us, definitely. Which the government has been doing for decades. Even I went in depth about the huge psyop that they had in Puerto Rico and how they were able to, it's so sad how they do that. But the way that you really get a population is by dividing them, divide and conquer. And you do that psychologically. I am inclined to believe that we are not this hateful. I think that we are intentionally being divvied up because there is no war but class war. And a lot of us have more in common than we really like to admit. Also, not sure if he's accepted Jesus as the Messiah, but there are Jewish people who have converted to Christianity. I don't know if that's what
they call themselves Messianic Jews, because we
Mm-hmm.
had someone on our podcast that was one. They don't say they're Christian. They say something else.
Mm-hmm, because they still abide by the Jewish traditions, like the Jewish holidays.
Right.
And like Jewish culture, Jewish food, things like that. But yeah, this is hateful. This reminds me of, and I've brought it up, I think, to you before, and I bring it up all the time because it's one of my favorite parables in the Bible. But the parable of the Good Samaritan, where there is a man in need and he asks for help and he asks the followers of Jesus and he is turned away, and it is the person that was the enemy of the people that helped the man in need, that was the Good Samaritan. And Jesus says not only to love your neighbor, Jesus says love your enemy. So all of this hate is not Christ-like. It's actually antithetical to all of the teachings of Christ. I love the parable of the Good Samaritan in the Bible, and I think that just goes to show that we're really not a Christian nation. We are a nationalist nation. We are a pagan nation, I think. A lot of the holidays that we abide by are more, I think, hedonistic than anything, really. But I don't really see a lot of my real fellow real Christians. But my real Christians, please stand up, because Jesus said, love your neighbor, love your enemy, not hate everybody all the time. I think it is a bad name on the Christian religion for sure. And
you know what William Shakespeare said? All the world's a stage and all the men and women are actors and players on it. I mean, they figured this out in the 1500s. They were like, everybody's fake. Everybody's fake. The entire world's a stage and all the men and women are actors.
Yeah. And then now with technology, we are in the beginning stages of the Matrix. Actually, one of my favorite economists, he often gives the example of, like, we're at like a picket, right? We're at a crossroads where we can go towards the Matrix or Star Trek, where it's like a libertarian commune, and then over here it's like the Matrix, where it's like everybody's seen the Matrix, right? And we're headed this way willingly, because we're all choosing to believe all of the lies, all the propaganda that the government feeds us. So yeah, I usually don't like to, and I try, it's hard not to punch down at fellow voters. I reserve all of my anger and all of my hate towards people in power, and I hold them accountable all the time. That's why I always talk shit on AOC, Bernie Sanders, all the Democrats, all the Republicans, all the people in power. Y'all can kiss my ass. But I like the point that Mia said earlier, where it's a lot of the voters, the voting class, especially with the religious argument, where they get them with all of those lies and all of that propaganda. And I wish we would just all hold hands in kumbaya and hold hands in solidarity on class lines.
I want to do a quote as well. When education becomes liberating, the oppressed becomes the oppressor, or dreams of becoming the oppressor.
Fair.
Is this like the shark quote?
They both did their own quote, so I want to do mine. When education becomes liberating, the oppressed dreams of becoming the oppressor.
Okay, like the shark.
Okay, kind of like Animal Farm.